What's going on, guys? Just got home early from work and a package came in the mail today. New knife. Haven't opened it yet. I just cut open the bag, but haven't even opened this box. But this is the Schrade SCHF37. I already have the SCHF36, and this one I think is a couple inches longer. Get this box open, take a look at it. Looks like the sheath is the same type of sheath that the 36 came in, which is not a bad sheath. It's not the greatest, but it's not bad. It does the job. Oh, and also this, if it's like the other one, comes with a ferro rod and striker, which is pretty cool, and a little diamond stone sharpener. I think this was 30 something dollars. Oh, let's take a look at this blade. See if we can get the sticker off the handle. Alright. So there is the blade. Looks like it's got the same 1/4 inch stock like the 36 has. Now the 36 I've only had for a couple weeks, but I've used it a lot, and I've been very impressed with it. It's had no problems at all. I think this is, I want to say 1095 high carbon steel. So being a 1/4 inch thick and being 1095, there should be theoretically no reason to worry about this knife holding up. But the one reason that I am a little worried is I saw a handful of reviews on Amazon of this model particularly, with pictures of this knife with the blade broken in half. And I think just about every single one of those told a story of hard batoning and the blade just failing, just breaking. So I came up with a theory that maybe either some of this model or all have been overheat treated and they're just too hard. Too hard means too brittle. And so I actually ran this, or actually the idea I came up with was to, when I received this knife, to actually take off the scales and put just the full blade into the oven to do some tempering. Basically, that's a process that toughens the metal by softening it a little bit. I mean, you don't want to make metal all the way soft, then it won't even be a functional knife. But my theory was if they made this too hard, say it's like 62 or 65 on the Rockwell hardness, and then maybe I could bring it down to 58, 59, something like that, maybe that would solve the issue of this knife having potential to break in half. So I ran that question by a guy who I actually want to shout out on YouTube now. He doesn't have any YouTube content, I don't believe, but he has commented on my videos and gave me some really good tips and pointers and information. And his screen name is Scalping Your TP. So Scalping Your TP, if you're watching this, I want to thank you for the great information and pointers you've given me. And I ran my idea by him, and he said from everything he looked at that it's possible that my idea could work, but his theory is that they actually skipped a step in the process of making these blades to save money, and that step was an initial step of normalizing the steel, because the pictures of the broken blades that he saw, the grain of the steel did not look like it's been normalized, and with that leaves the potential for the steel to break more easily. So I'm going to trust his opinion on that, and I'm not going to try my tempering process on this knife. Basically, this knife only costs 30 bucks. What I'm going to do is I'm going to baton hard on it. I'm going to basically borderline abuse it and just find out if it's going to break. I want it to break now and get it over with while it's safe out here. I don't have the kids out here or anything, so we're just going to give this thing some hard knocks and find out whether it's going to hold up. Because either A, all of this model has the same defect, meaning that any one of these knives, if you baton hard enough on it, it's going to break in half, or B, maybe some of this model have that defect and others don't. It all depends on whether every batch was made exactly the same or not. So anyways, with that said, let's find out. We're either going to end this video with a broken knife or a knife that's in one piece, and I'm really hoping it's in one piece, but worst case scenario, it's $30. It's not going to be the end of the world, so let's find out. Let me get some wood here. So first thing, I'm just going to do a standard splitting of this wood, and assuming that it passes that test, then we'll try some other stuff to put a little bit more pressure on the steel. I'm just going to try going right through the middle of this though and see what happens first. Nope, no problem so far. I'm going to do that one more time. Knife feels good. Alright, so what I'm going to try now is called cross batoning. So I'm going to take this wood and lay it on its side and see if we can baton right through it sideways. This is much harder on a blade than the standard splitting with the grain. This is splitting against the grain, basically cutting through the wood. So I want to test it this way as well. No problem there. Pretty thin piece of wood. A thicker piece. I don't know that I want to necessarily cross baton all the way through this, but it's just another way to test the blade and make sure there's no weakness. Make sure I'm on camera here. We're just about through a pretty good sized piece of wood here, and I am wailing on this blade. Might as well try to get all the way through now. Can you still see me? Move over here. Oh, there we go. Well, sort of. Oh yeah. Well, I suppose I should probably be satisfied with that. This blade feels just as solid as the 36 that I have, And if not for seeing those reviews, I would probably be sure that this blade would never ever fail. This is a beast. But, you know, just for good measure, we'll grab one more piece of firewood. This is a pretty solid feeling piece. I'm just going to split through this a couple times. No more cross batoning. That's pretty abusive. But I just want to split through this a couple times, and then if it doesn't break, we'll call it a pass. No problem. Alright, do one more. Well, honestly, it feels to me like this knife is just getting warmed up. It doesn't feel like there's anything brittle or weak about this knife, so I'm hoping that what this means is that only some batches of this model had the problem with whether it's overheat treating or a lack of normalizing the steel before they made these. But this knife feels like a beast, just like its little brother, just like the 36. This is the SCHF37, and just going by the little bit of testing that I've done so far, I give it 5 stars. And hopefully this means it's going to last me a long time, just like the other Schrade I have. So I guess that's it for this video. The SCHF37, trying to get it all the way on the camera. Alright guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.